Hi, everybody. Welcome back to The Composition of Imagination. I am your host and author, Stevie Joe, and with me, as always, are my fabulous book guardians, Tasha and Jason, and we are wrapping up our discussion about the locations of Angel of Death. So let's go ahead and dive in. I think you had said you wanted to talk about the hospital.
Yes, Healing Hands Hospital.
Yes.
One of the most nicest sounding hospitals with a potentially dark secret.
You go in alive, you don't come out alive.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't that hospital rebuilt? Or was it built on top of Verham Labs?
Verham Labs was added to it.
Okay, so Healing Hands was always there.
Yeah. Now it has been modified and modernized and all that, but yes.
Okay, because I kept thinking that when the incident happened, not only did the Cordelia's lab get destroyed, but so did a good chunk of Healing Hands.
The DGRC was in a different location.
Okay.
It was an independent building that was above ground, and that's
what they did wrong.
Was part of why they moved underground, was because they felt like it was too easy for anybody to just walk on in and do what they wanted to do. Even though, I mean, that could have been solved with an issue of security, but I guess with magic, they felt it was better to conceal instead of try that.
No, they figured it out of sight, out of mind.
Pretty much, yeah.
But does Cordelia actually go into Healing Hands at all, or?
No, she uses the back entrance.
Okay.
She doesn't want to go through security because, ew, don't touch me.
Yeah.
And
see, that's why I think that's one of the reasons why she has that attitude toward creatures, because part of it was her upbringing. She came from a, well-off family.
Well, no, we got to phrase it like you did in a previous video. Old and crusty money.
Yeah. old crusty money.
Gross.
Being from an old family like that, you have proper manners, and you don't associate yourself with what they would consider lesser people.
That's what I was gonna say. Creatures are considered lower class. So and that's why she
What would be funny though is probably like her next door neighbor. Probably that whole family was probably some form of lichen.
Oh, they probably were.
And they had probably more money than her family had.
Yeah.
And yet they knew how to carry themselves.
Yeah. No, she does not go into Healing Hands ever. The last time she was there was in the incident, and that was not by choice. That was because she had 6 broken ribs, concussion, all of that stuff. She needed medical attention, and she had to go there.
She could have walked it off.
Yeah. You got the 6 broken ribs, you're fine. Just lean the other way.
Yeah.
You know?
But the it almost seems like that's like the only hospital in that area.
In the south side, yes.
Do they have one on the north side?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like how here we've got like Baptist Health near downtown, UK in downtown, and then St. Joe out.
So if something were to happen and say Verham Labs got blown up, an incident part 2, and Healing Hands went up, because that one of the mayor's big, refurbishment projects for the town to show that he cares. Mm-hmm. That, we're doing that because it was the cover when they renovated it to sit there and build the underground layer. Mm-hmm. Which, even that sounds like something out of Mission Impossible. Why would you build an underground lab in eastern Kentucky?
Why not?
That's what I was going to say. Who would suspect it?
Yeah, who would suspect that?
The most unlikely of places, or one of the most unlikely of places.
Yeah.
All they had to do was follow Chloe Joe. They would have found her. But with Healing Hands being what it is, I mean, they renovated it. I'm assuming they modernized it with all the latest technology and stuff.
With the help of the Conquistador engineers as well, because they are some of the most. It is worth saying that the Conquistadors, even though the place is supposed to be kind of on lockdown, not secret, but kind of secret. The scientists that work there.
They're not secret after the town hall.
Yeah. The scientists who work there are some of the most sought after in the region because of their skill and how smart they are.
But it also begs the question, though, if they're that smart and that talented, why aren't they being recruited from all over the country, not just in the region?
It could be because they want to keep close to home. They don't want to have to interview. Like Cordelia and James went through a painstaking interview process for all these conquistadors, and they hand selected the ones that were, it's kind of like Cordelia was like, I don't want to have this person from, a university in Montana, because what has Montana ever done? I don't care how smart they are. I went to UK. Let's take some people from UK. Or Kaylee went to school in New York. Let's take some people from New York. Sticking with what she knows.
The reason she took Kaylee is she's family.
Oh, yeah. But what I'm saying is, that's kind of her thought process of, I'm being ultra picky even over the stupidest thing, because I need to make sure these people will do exactly what I say. When I say jump, they need to say, yes, ma'am, and tell me when I've jumped high enough. Not even how high. Just you tell me when to stop. That's what she wants, are these little working robots. Which Kaylee, funnily enough, probably could have built for her.
Yeah.
And she's here by now.
Her character seems like the one that's probably one of the smartest of the bunch, and obviously she's got a head on her shoulders enough to see, okay, I know I have to work, but this is complete BS. Mm-hmm. So, with that, I mean, why... I know they've got heavy security now.
Yes, now.
By book 4. Mm-hmm. But up to that point, why even bother? I mean, I get the secret entrance, mm-hmm. which again, nice borrow from, or nice homage to Princess Bride.
Yeah. Unintentional. It was actually that tree. So speaking of locations, the secret entrance, for those of you who didn't get to watch the history of Mer County yet, it's in part 1. I talk about Verham Labs and the history of it and how it looks. There is a secret entrance in an old hollowed out tree. And that, actually, the reason I did it is really funny. My husband would just die laughing. Is because when they destroyed Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh, they kept one tower entrance. It's Tower D, and it's by the new stadium, Acrisure Stadium. And we love going to Pittsburgh so much. And I was like, ooh, that's a good touch. So that one tree, they can hollow it out, and that's like my homage to to Pittsburgh.
Wow.
So go Pittsburgh. The security, they always had security in the hospital, because there's only a couple elevators of the whole row. You know how sometimes hotels will have only like one elevator that takes you to the penthouse? Yeah. And so that's kind of the same thing that I implemented, where it was only a couple of the elevators actually go down when you're in the hospital proper and you come in from Earth level.
How dare you come in the front entrance?
Yeah. And so they had security there to make sure if you're not supposed to go to Verham Labs, you don't, because you have to show your badge and everything. But the secret entrance kind of keeps people.
Which is funny that they make Chloe Joe and the rest of the staff go through the front entrance.
Not necessarily make them. It's, I think, just
visual?
where they have to go in the lab, because the secret entrance is by the death lab, whereas the hospital entrance is by all the research center.
True.
So it's a shorter distance for them to get where they need to go.
Yeah, but Chloe Joe would have to go in through she should go through the secret entrance, because she works in the death lab versus she does both, but mostly she's been working there. Yeah. I love how they call it the death lab.
She hates it. Oh my gosh. And the secret entrance also comes into play when they're bringing in, so for example, in The Good Shepherd, when they captured Subject Beta, he was brought in that way, so no one saw that it was him that they were actually
because
Because that would have
everybody,
started an uproar.
yeah, they would have burned the hospital and the lab down right then, and they knew it, and so did Wesley.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the condos.
Yeah, Freedom Park condos.
Yeah. Why?
Why?
Yeah, why have condos sitting next to a park?
Oh, for
Why not?
Yeah,
For a view?
for aesthetic, and and
You
of
charge
course
more?
the upper levels are like the penthouse type apartment style. The more luxurious. Which Ezra lives just a couple floors below that. Fun fact: Kaylee and Sebastian actually live on one of the top floors.
On a cop's pay.
Yeah, on a mayor's son-in-law pay.
Okay, that's what it must be.
Mayor's son-in-law and only daughter pay. That's where that comes from. But they live in one of those. Ava used to live in one of the condos, but on a lower floor because what you could afford.
Jericho's really are made of money. God.
Ezra lives there.
Ezra's doing that just so he's around, because in a way, as much as Ezra carries himself, especially in book 1, he was kind of slumming it.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
And I was picturing that kind of apartment that was more like, 1 bedroom, maybe even a studio. He
has it's a 1 bedroom and 2 bath.
Yeah.
Because there's the main bath and then there's the master bath.
Yeah.
So he's, sometimes when you think about these characters like Elias and Ezra, you think they've been around for so long, and it's really funny to see them, how they've contrasted how they live, because Ezra, he's so used to being kind of the wanderer, the nomad, so to speak, bouncing to try to find his lifeblood, that he kind of lives, to your point about the slum in it, he kind of lives at the bare minimum. Yeah. And he's just like, I just need a couch, a TV, a fridge, a bed, I'm good. And I've got a little table, but I never sit at it, so who cares? But he's got like the bare minimum, whereas Elias has really built himself a house of luxury, because he enjoys that kind of living. He has learned to enjoy that. Whereas they do not think that, whereas Ezra doesn't think that it's necessary.
And I always found that interesting, because you'd think there would be more death that condo being right next to the park, especially during the 3-day event. But
the Lycans do a really good job at staying in their territory. Only in the forest. They only stay in the trees. In a future book, you will see that they will not, even if their prey is running and makes it across the tree line, they will stop and they will not go. They like the cover of the trees so that they can be sneaky and hide and not have to worry about anything and hunt better. So it seems like it would be dangerous to live there, but no, he's safe because he's out of the tree line. As long as no one goes in there chopping some trees down to take away, because that's part of the agreement. You can't do that.
That agreement's so weird. I mean, no, really it is.
The conservation effort.
Because you have this part that's really nice, and then during like 3-day events, you can't go anywhere near it. You've got a St.
Well, you can go to the park, you just can't go camping in the...
I couldn't imagine the freaking cleaning bills for his place, because, it literally looks like a very bad murder scene.
Well, that's why he has red sheets. So it's easy to dispose.
He don't have red carpet.
No.
So, like I said, and my God, you would need the strongest cleaner. Yeah. To get the smell out, because blood's okay when it's fresh, but when it dries, it's nasty.
It's got that stale iron, which is why he smells like it a lot, especially when he's been drinking all the time.
Yeah, and it's like, get away, douchebag.
Well, guys, that does it for the location discussion. Thank you for joining us this week. Thank you guys for bringing the questions for this. And join us next. More of a kind of ask me anything, not necessarily just about Angel of Death, but the writing process or anything that they may have questions about. So we'll see where that takes us. And subscribe to the Composition of Imagination so you don't miss a single thing. And don't forget to go onto steviejoeauthor.com, order your copies of Angel of Death so that you can stay caught up in all of the fun and lively discussion that we present.
Catch up on the Angel of Death series today. The first 4 entries are now available directly at steviejoeauthor.com.